won't be called. Okay, now that's interesting. Nasro, your comments reminded me of when I was 7. You know how they would say, if you want to redeploy, come and tell us why you want to be redeployed. And some people went there forming sicknesses and forming medical reports. And then somebody who I know also went there to forge a report to submit. And the person came back and I was like, oh, did they consider you? Did they, I mean, take your letter? Are they considering deploying you? And the person was like, no, I didn't submit the letter because when I got there and I saw the names of other people's sicknesses, I had to tear mine, knowing that I did not stand a chance. I just remember the story now from what Nashro said. Okay, another person said it was not straightforward. Too many words and too many relevant experiences. Interesting. All right. Thank you very much, Oluchi. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Please confirm you can still hear me and we are still together.
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
Okay. Now, I want to share with you some of the reasons why you were not called. It's some. I don't mean all. It's some. Now, it's possible that you were using a generic CV that doesn't speak to the specific role. I have seen a CV before that someone submitted to me, and everything the person was saying, a bulk of the work experience of that person does not relate to the role that we wanted to hire the person for. Of course, such a person would not stand a chance. So that is one reason why some people would not get called. Another reason why some people don't get called is missing keywords. So you don't know that there are some companies that use what we call the applicant tracking system. And being that it is usually configured to select a certain kind of word for who they want to proceed to the next stage. If the keywords that are being programmed in the applicant tracking system is not seen in your CV, the chance of such a person is very slim. Another reason why some people don't get called is because they do not meet the requirements. So, for instance, you see a job saying we want somebody with 10 years of working experience in so field, and you have only 2 years, and then you submit your CV. What happens? You cannot get called, except by divine intervention. You will not get called. Another reason why some people do not get called is high number of applicants, thereby making the competition very fierce. And then sometimes this part a lot of people do not know, except if you are within the company. Which is why I tell people sometimes when they're getting all worked up that they are not called by an organization that they apply to, I tell them to calm down, that there are different things that can influence a decision to choose somebody as a candidate. But in this case, there could be a time where maybe a department that made a request for someone could come back and say, you know what, I think we should just hold on with that recruitment. But a lot of companies will not come back to tell you we are putting it on hold. They will just ghost you, waiting for the new directive for them to proceed and then come back to call you. So sometimes it could be that you're not hearing from them because they have probably put that role on hold. And there are countless reasons why a company would not call you despite submitting your CV to them. So um I want us to do this reality check very quickly. If CVs alone guaranteed opportunity, many brilliant people would not be John Bunting by now. We had mentioned some things that could possibly be a reason why companies do not call. But you can now see that there is a possibility of not getting called, even if you have a good CV. Okay, somebody said no wonder I applied to a job in January and got called in October for interview. Yes, anything can be the reason why you don't get called. And sometimes this reason may not be your fault. And like I said, the reality check is that even you having a great CV doesn't always guarantee you a job. If not, the most brilliant people would never look for a job. I don't know about you, but I know some people who are first class graduates who don't have jobs today. I know people who are first class graduates who have probably looked for career in something else because they keep applying and applying for what they want and it's not working. I, for one, when I finished my university, I was very clear I wanted to go into HR. So what did I do? I started taking CIPM. I did CIPM, and by the time I was finishing my service, I had completed my CIPM. And somewhere in my head, I felt uh with this CIPM, there is no how I will submit my CV that I will not get called. In fact, I don't know what I was thinking then. I used to say the least salary I will get paid is 150K. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm asking myself, what was I thinking? The least salary I will get paid with this CIPM that I've gotten, forget it, is what's it called? Is 150K. My brother and sister in the Lord. Nobody called me, oh. And the funny thing was, I now started applying for internship. I was applying for internship, and I was like, I don't want you to pay me. I just want the experience, the opportunity to learn. Guess what? I kept getting no as a response. And I think on one of those occasions, I got upset and I was like, wait, this no. I had to ask the HR person, this no, is it that you people don't have chair and table for me? Or this no is for what exactly? If people are not going to pay me, I say you should not pay me. I'm just coming to give. And somewhere in my head, I also felt like I had something to offer the company. Why not just give me the chance to help and support this company without getting paid? And you are still telling me no. What does that say to you? That even the best of the best people out there does not always mean that because you have the qualification, because you have the right CV, that you would always get the job. As we proceed in this session, you will understand better the things that are required to help you get opportunities. And when I say opportunities, sometimes opportunities does not necessarily mean job. As we proceed, you understand what I mean. Opportunities maybe like a full 9 to 5 career. Opportunity could even be side gigs that people can decide to say, oh, let me give it to you because of this, because of that, which we're going to touch as we proceed in the session. But then it's just to put it out there that CVs alone does not guarantee an opportunity. That you have the best CV submitted does not always mean that the best opportunities will come to you. Now, if we're not talking about CVs as the what's it called? We're not talking about CVs as the best, as the only way to get opportunities. What then is this session about? This session is not about rewriting your CV. It is about repositioning you. There is something that is missing between that is standing between you, between your CV and an opportunity. And that is what this session is going to be talking about. Repositioning you. I want to run very quickly. Now, why do we need repositioning? Why do you need to reposition yourself? A CV tells what you have done. But opportunity does not respond to just what you have done. It also responds to what you can solve. What can you do? What value as what value does what or rather what value is what you have done in the past going to bring to the organization? Employers do not hire for certificates. They don't. Like I told you, I had CIPM and then I got rejected for HRA internship over and over again, which means certifications does not always guarantee that you'll be employed. They hire for value. But as we proceed, we'll get to understand how does this value come into play? How do I get them to even see this value? A friend of mine used to say something. He will say that no matter how good a product is, if you put it in a carton and you put that carton in a shelf, when people come into that store, nobody will see that product to price. Is it true? I need a response. Maybe through emoji. Does that make any sense to you? All right, thank you. Now, we talked about value, and I also gave you an analogy of the fact that no matter how good a product is, if it is not seen, nobody will come for it. And that is where visibility matters. In a world where everybody wants to be seen, it takes a lot for you to still put yourself in a position where you can still be noticed. There was something when I got a job with a multinational company some years back, and I was getting introduced to my team members. The final person I was to meet was the HR director. I went to the HR director, and in our getting to know each other, I now asked her a question, which I'm going to share with you what she responded. I said, how did you get here? How did you get to this position that you are today? I'm starting my career. What can I do to get to where you are? And she said something. She gave me an analogy. She said, if you have two people and I send the both of you to go and buy me rice, meat, let's just say rice and meat, and then one of you goes to buy rice and meat and then brings spoon for me. Has that person done what I asked the person to do? I needed to answer that question. Two people were sent to go and buy rice and meat, and one person goes to buy the rice and meat with spoon. Has that person done what he or she was asked to do? On
Yes,
me
ma.
or Mike? Yes. Okay. Now, the second person then goes to buy rice and meat and then comes with the spoon, comes with water, and puts the rice on a tray. Has that person also done what they asked him or her to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Of course. And if you are going to reward both of them for that errand, who will you reward?
The
The
second
second
person.
person.
The second person, obviously. So, which means that sometimes it's not about doing what everybody does. It is that little extra from what everybody does that you do that will give you value, that would give you visibility. We all know that in Nigeria today, opportunity doesn't always go to the most qualified person. We all know. There are some people you have seen in some positions that you're like, if I'm the one here, I have a lot more to offer. I can do better than this person. But guess what? You're not the one there. There are different reasons why someone else would be in that position and not you. As we proceed, we understand more and more different reasons why some people end up in the place of visibility over others. Now, it often goes to the most visible person, the most prepared person, and the most connected person. I want you to mark those three things: visible, prepared, and connected. To be sure that you're following me, you can write it in the chat box: visible, prepared, and connected. Because it's one thing for you to be visible, it's another thing for the opportunity to come to you and you are prepared for that opportunity. And it's another thing for you to know the right people that can bring that opportunity your way. So you are understanding from this point that, thank you for those responding. You're understanding from this point that having a good CV is not enough. If you have a good CV and people don't see you, people don't know you, like, even right there, the CV that you have put together, they are not even seeing the CV. Your CV is loaded, so many things written in the CV, but they're not communicating. You know, you can have a CV that has 5 pages, yet you're not communicating anything. I hope you know. And I'm going to explain to you as we proceed what I mean by saying that you can have a CV that is loaded, yet you're not communicating anything. Now, talent without visibility is like burying gold underground. You have value, but nobody has seen it. Do you know somebody cannot just see you and be able to tell what you can do, what you look like? People don't know the extent to what you can deliver. They don't know the extent to what value you can contribute until they see you contributing that value. Let me put this, let me give this example. For instance, my speaking to you today, somebody reached out to me, and this person that reached out to me was my former boss. But you know, I was not the only person who worked with her. Why did she reach out to me instead for this opportunity? Because she has been saying that over time, I have been doing something like this over time. Visibility. Nobody knows what you can do until you show them. And this is the point where I tell you that sometimes For a lot of people, you are trying to put yourself out there, you are trying to be visible, and it feels like nobody's seeing you. For instance, because nobody's engaging your post, nobody's commenting on your post, and you think they're not seeing it. You'll be shocked. You'll be very, very shocked. Although I do wish that sometimes people are able to commend people for the things they do openly, because it can be some sort of encouragement to them. But we're in the world where everybody's busy, and the way you are chasing your own life is the way they are chasing their own life. So it's understandable. You have to be visible with your value. You have to put yourself out there with your value. As we proceed, you understand most of those things. I'm just laying the foundation to helping you understand what today's session is all about.
Sorry, ma. Sorry to cut you, ma.
It's
Please,
okay.
for the attendees, please, do well to use your name, the name that you want to appear on your certificate, so we can track attendance. Please use your real name, not a manufacturing. Your real name, please. Thank you. So you can carry on, ma.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's do a very quick interaction. Like I said, I want us to please engage. This is going to be interactive. So the question now is, what do you think employers? I've told you that you can have the best of CV and they still will not call you. Although I have given you some, I've given you some expo. So first, this will test that you are listening to what I've been saying so far. But more importantly, I want you to think outside of what I mentioned and tell me what you think employers are looking for in your CV. Let me hear you. You can raise your hand and then unmute your mic to speak, or you can drop it in the chat area. All right. I'm waiting for you. Anybody raising their hands? What do you think employers are looking for in your CV when you submit your CV? Because it is in understanding what they are looking for that you know exactly what to put in your CV. I'm going to show you at some points how you can coin your CV in a way that can catch the attention of your of an organization. But then I want to hear from you. Evidence of value you can
Okay.
add to the organization. Amazing. Thank you so much. Aji Olono. Sorry if I'm not calling your name perfectly. Manage it for me like that. This is good. Yes. Evidence of value that you bring. Competence, discipline, trustworthiness. You know what, Oluchi, you're going to unmute. Teach us today. How do you think you can reflect competence, discipline, and trustworthiness in your CV? Let's
Okay,
learn.
ma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, ma. You can demonstrate it with your by showing your experience. Like, especially if you want to show
Okay.
like competence, you need to show like numbers, like statistics in your experience, not just saying words. Trustworthiness, you need to show your experience. Your experience, I will definitely show this is that they might be looking for. Because sometimes they will tell you you're not looking for qualification. I've heard them say things like your certificate doesn't mean anything if you cannot give me
Yeah.
value to show other skills that people might not look at as important. So I think that's the way to show it or show them.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much. That speaks to documentation. The fact that you are doing, I, for one, I made this mistake in my early years in career. For one, I feel like I don't need to blow my trumpet. Um, it will speak for itself. Um, it will look like pride if you're putting it out there what you are doing. I wish I knew better. I really wish that I knew better. Because the truth is, if you're not documenting what it is that you are doing, even in your CV, you will not be able to reflect it because you probably will not remember when you're creating your CV, the things that you have done to be able to put it out there. And like the first person said, what employers are looking for is value. They want to be able to see value, the value you can bring. Anybody who says, I am setting up a company, is setting up a company because they're out there to make money. So when they are bringing you on board, they are bringing you on board because they expect that by your skill, they are able to make more money. And do not think that making money for an organization must be that you are in sales. No. Even in your little delivery, let's give this analogy. You have a house and then you have a security guard. A security guard saves you a lot of things. You have a house help. A house help saves you a lot of things because you can't always do these things yourself. So you would think that a security guard is a menial role, it's a small role. But do you know you cannot be inside the house and also be at the gate at the same time? You cannot do that. You need that so-called small role to be able to live comfortably in your house, to have some level of effectiveness in your everyday activities, which is why it is very crucial that you understand what you are bringing to the table whenever you are applying to a company. Whenever you are putting your CV together, you are thinking in the direction of the things I have done. Beyond me wanting to go and collect salary, how can I bring value to this company? And you put it out there. There's nothing wrong in putting in your CV, if I am hired, this and this and these are the changes I will bring in your company. That is you. That is you stating your value expressly. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I want us to go outside the norm of you put your CV together with a template and then you just submit. What value are you bringing beyond your CV? How do you turn your potential to an opportunity? Because at the end of the day, the value that you are writing in your CV, it's a potential that can bring an opportunity of that job for you. Which is why, again, as much as you want to be humble, you alone can blow your own trumpets. You are the only one that can tell people enough what you do, how you do it. Then when they give you the chance, you then prove them right. Not the one you go and use ChatGPT to just say, oh, put together what looks like value for me, and then you put it, and then they bring it to the job and you can't do jack. All right, let's proceed. Now, you have shared what you think employers are looking for, but let me tell you some other things that I think that they're looking for. One of it is skills that they can use immediately, which is where the value comes into play. Skills that employers can use immediately. I listened in on the last speaker for yesterday's session and I heard him talking about the skills you need to build. I heard him talk about digital skills. I heard him talk about data analytics skills. You know, I would always say that sometimes employees are waiting for companies to train them on some certain things before they get those trainings. But do you know that whatever it is that you train yourself in or a company trains you on, you actually would be the one with that knowledge. That knowledge would stay with you even if you leave that organization tomorrow. So when you are going for knowledge, you are not going for knowledge because you are trying to just help a company. You are going for knowledge because you are also helping yourself. So if you are, and lifting what some of the things the last speaker said, if you are going to get yourself become a digital literate, if you are going to get yourself to understand what data analytics is all about, if you're going to learn data analytics by yourself, or something that is related to your own field, it is for you. And that thing that you have learned, let me give you this state. Let me make this statement that my husband always makes. He will say, let's assume that you're in the company now earning 150,000 naira. But while you are in that company, you keep building yourself, you keep developing yourself, you keep learning, you keep growing. Do you know that the company you are working with that is paying you 150,000 naira may not increase your salary beyond 250, for instance? But by the time you are leaving that company to go to another company, by number one, the vector of the years you have spent in your current company, to the skills that you have acquired while you are in the current company, when you are going to your next company, you can move from a 150 to a 700. Do you believe that? I need a response. Do you believe that? Or you think I'm thinking too big?
Yes, it's possible.
It's very possible. Because at that point, they are paying you for the skills you have built. And I learned something from a friend. When she was going to apply for a job, the initial job she was doing there was paying her less than 200,000 naira. And then they asked her in the next job she was applying to bring her pay slip. And she said, number one, the company is against the company ethics to share her pay slips. But most especially, her previous pay should not determine her next pay because she has learned, she has grown, she has gotten better. that she should be paid based on her current value. And this is how much she thinks she's valued at. Oftentimes we see applying for a job as, oh, if this does not, I'm begging this company to give me a life. I am not saying go to a company with arrogance, but I'm saying go to a company understanding your worth and using your worth to negotiate in the most polite way ever. I would rather be paid based on how much I have learned and grown over time as against how much I was earning in my previous place of work. I'm giving you another tip for negotiation. Now, another thing that employers are looking for is your attitude, your work ethics, and your reliability. Speaking about attitude, something happened yesterday. A friend of mine reached out to me and said, do I know any HR person with 3 years of experience that she can hire? Now, this person is the head of HR in a company, so which meant that whoever I had brought was an automatic yes. But at the time, I didn't have anybody with exactly that number of years of experience. So I put it out on my platforms and on platforms that I also belong to. And somebody sent me, I don't know if it's a he or a she. The person sent me CV. Like just sending the CV, not a word, nothing. And do you know how it felt like to me? It felt like the person just threw the CV at me. And I blocked the person immediately. Because the truth is, if when they have not even given you the job, they're already giving this attitude, you know what will happen if you bring that kind of person on board. From his CV, he has shown me his attitude. From his CV, he has shown me his attitude. I wouldn't bring such a person to work. So even in little things, our attitude reflects. And then another thing that employers are looking for is problem-solving ability. Are you the kind of person that is always, this is a problem, this is a problem, or this problem, how can we solve it? Everybody, because sometimes when we are castigating employers, what we don't do is put ourselves in the shoes of employers. If you have a company and you want to hire somebody, would you want to hire someone that cannot solve problems for you? Or you want to hire somebody that will always compound problems for you? It will be the latter. I mean, the first. Someone that would always solve problems for you. So if you are thinking as an employer, when you are applying to companies, you will know what to position, how to position yourself and what to put out there. Then another thing every employer is looking out for is trust. Trust. I would always say it. I am very, very big on integrity. And when people see you as someone of integrity, they can vouch for you. Now, imagine that the example I gave to you now of my friend who reached out to me for for a role. The reason why she could reach out to me is because she feels that I have that integrity she could bank on. That whoever I will bring for her will be a reflection of me. So imagine I went to send out the CV of the person I just threw CV at me. And then that person becomes my reflection. Imagine the kind of image I am creating for myself. The image of somebody who cannot even greet somebody. So people would not refer you if they don't see you as someone they can trust. Nobody wants their name to be soiled out there. Nobody wants their name to be dragged in the mud. Nobody wants somebody who gets to a company and they say, who exactly brought this person? I'm like, is this man that brought the person? Like, really? No. This one no be him. Nobody wants such a name associated with their names. So if you want people to trust you enough to be able to refer you for opportunity, to be able to, clamor for opportunities for you, then you must be somebody who has trust. You must be somebody who is trustworthy. And the last is proactiveness. Just like the example I gave to you about sending two people to go and buy rice and meat. And then the other one proactively understood that if I buy this rice and meat, this person would need water to be able to eat this food. And then the person goes out of the way to get that water without being asked or before being asked. Proactiveness is you anticipating the need for something and quickly preparing ahead for that thing. So you don't just go out and look for jobs. Ensure that you are quality enough that any company that hires you will be proud to say you are a good hire. I remembered when I got the job at that multinational company and they were going to do my confirmation appraiser. And my boss said to me, Magdalene, you are a good hire. Do you know how it felt? It felt really good. It felt really good. Because the honest truth is, every company wants to feel like they did not waste their money on you. Every company wants to feel like you have something to offer them. So you don't want to be that person who will go to an organization and the company feels like they are wasting money paying you as a salary. Let them see you as value. And don't worry, if you're in a company that does not recognize value, it's okay. That should not stop you from also bringing value. Because like I said, everything that you do and you build yourself with, you are doing it for yourself. Are we still following?
Yes, ma'am.
Before I continue, please drop in the comment section anything you think you have learned today that is already sticking. One thing you know you're already taking away from here. I'm waiting for a few minutes. Let's do that. I'm waiting. What is that one thing that we have said so far that you are going to do differently? That's one thing. The problem solving ability, having integrity and be reliable. Thank you, Tumishe. Thank you, Esther. That's one thing that are going to do differently. Okay, while we wait for others to talk, let's proceed. Value, evidence of the value I'm bringing. Yeah, the value. Thank you. So let's move to how do we move from opportunity to potential? I call it, okay, I see more responses, the right attitude, be proactive, building trust, be a person of integrity, be a strong problem solver. I've learned that beyond getting a job, I should always be proactive in my workplace. Yeah. Adding value and being trustworthy. Yeah. My key takeaway is that I should be a person of value and a person that solves problem. Yeah. Also blow my trumpet, not arrogantly, but don't hide. Absolutely. Learning to give offer. Thank you so much. This makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time here. I appreciate the learnings that you've shared with me. Now, we said today we're talking about potential to opportunity. And I'm going to describe it as the potential opportunity gap between potential and opportunity. What is that missing thing? Now, potential does not always equal opportunity. That you have the potential to do something does not always mean that that thing will come to you. It doesn't always mean that that thing will fall on your laps. Now, what is that difference between potential and opportunity? What is that thing in between them? And that is positioning. Positioning is that thing between potential and opportunity. If you are able to do something, if you have the ability to do something, and people can see, emphasis on people can see that you can do it, then the opportunities for those things will come to you. If I tell myself that I'm a public speaker, but nobody has seen me speak, nobody has seen how I can speak, do you think opportunities will come to me? No. If I like, let me scream it to the ends of the world and tell everybody how, oh, I have the ability to speak. Oh, you have no idea. I am a potential speaker. No, no, no. I am a public speaker. And they've not even seen you delivering assembly speech before. They would never think you can do anything. Because the world where we live in, evidence is very important. And that evidence is what I describe as positioning. Let me give you an example. Now, you look at these kit makers that we have today. A lot of these kit makers, they are now becoming actors and actresses. Am I right? A lot of the skit makers, yes, they're not becoming actors and actresses. It'd be nice if you're muting your mic to talk, you know. I feel like I'm talking alone. Thank you for the responses on the in the chat area, but I would also love to hear your voice, like you hear mine. Okay, so they're not becoming actors and actresses. But do you know that if these same guys had gone for auditioning a few years back, they probably would never have picked them. Yeah? They probably would never have picked them. They would have continued looking for the opportunity for years, banging the door of people to open for them to act, and it will not open. But do you know what they did? They now created their own platforms to prove that they can act. That is positioning. We're in a world where if the world does not give you a stage, you have every support system right now to create a stage for yourself. Now, by virtue of their platforms, using skits to act, they have proven to, in fact, it is not a case of they have proven. Producers now want to associate with them. That is positioning. They have the potential, but they need an opportunity. And for them to get that opportunity, they have to position themselves. Now, bringing it to the light of career. You are a career person. You can do something. You know this subject well, not just head knowledge. You know it practically. How do you position yourself? Do you position yourself as a person of authority? And a great place to do that is somewhere like LinkedIn. You can decide to start teaching people that thing you know in your area of career. You can decide to start having conversations. For instance, let me give an example. An example can be maybe you say, there is something in my company that I see as a gap. Maybe people do not take training seriously in my company. But you know what to do. And you have done it for your company and it works. You can come to LinkedIn and say, there is a problem. There is a gap between company training people and the value they get in return from training people. This used to be a problem in my organization until I did this and this and this and this. And today, this is the end result. Do you know by virtue of that, you're already selling yourself as a person of value? Which is why, again, I say that you must blow your trumpet. Not from the place of pride, but from the place of positioning. People should be able to see you and say, oh, this person, I've been following you on LinkedIn and you look like somebody who delivers value. As a result, I think I would like to have this kind of person on my team. You will not realize that a company that you have been chasing since with your CV that did not even send you will not start calling you to come and you'll be the one telling them how much you want to earn. What is the difference? Positioning. People have potentials. What is this potential? They have degrees. Degrees upon degrees. First degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree. I wonder what they're doing with them, but they have plenty degrees. Some people have certificates. For instance, in HR, you have CIPM, you have PHRY, you have GPHRU, you have SHR, you have all of them. PDP, APC, you have all of them. Then some people have gone for trainings upon trainings. And then some people have even done internship. These are potential that if you use them well and you position them well, it will bring you to the place of opportunity. For instance, you are interning and then you come to LinkedIn and you are explaining the things you have learned as an intern and the things that you have done as an intern. What do you think? You are creating opportunities for yourself. These opportunities may not come immediately, but they would always come. They would always come. And I would always advocate for consistency, even when it doesn't make sense. Even when it looks like, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you still hear me? Okay. Even when it looks like
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
nobody is seeing what you are posting. Because like I said, people may be seeing it, but may not be responding to it. Does not mean that they are not seeing it. So you need to position yourself and let them understand that these opportunities, this potential that you have, rather, if they can give you the opportunities, you can bring value to them. You can bring value to them. So learn how to sell yourself. You can sell yourself the way you want to be sold. Only you. Please confirm you can still see my screen.
No, ma'am.
No, ma. The
Okay.
screen is yes, ma.
No, ma'am, can't.
Can you see it now?
Yes, now we can
Yes,
see it now.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, how does opportunity happen? How do you get opportunities when you have potential? Number one, you must be seen. I've been talking about it over and over again. Visibility. You must be seen. You must be understood. You must be trusted. And you must be needed. Very important. There is something my pastor used to say. He used to say, I am not called to be everybody's pastor, which means that your potential, your value is not meant for everybody. But the most important thing is that the people it is meant for should see you. That's the most important thing. So, for instance, your goal or your dream is to work in a tech company. Whatever it is that you are positioning yourself as, whatever it is that you are putting out there, you need to ensure that you are drafting it in a way that is pleasing for a tech company. I don't know if you understand what I mean. You have to draft it in a way that a tech company can see it. They talk about search engine optimizations a lot, the kind of hashtags you use, the kind of words you use. Thank God for AI tools like ChatGPT. While I think that sometimes people are overusing ChatGPT and almost using it to replace their intellect, I also feel like it is meant to help us amplify what we already know. So you have a post, for instance, you can take it to ChatGPT and say, help me design this post in a way that speaks to a tech audience or a tech company audience. You are positioning yourself, you are making yourself seen, you are making yourself understood, you are making yourself trusted. And I used to say something. Let me share this with you. I used to say, everybody uses ChatGPT now, and everybody thinks anything that everybody does is ChatGPT. And there's no crime in doing it. Because if I go to ChatGPT and say, I want to make content for tech companies, teaching them how they can manage their tech team, ChatGPT will give me good ideas. I can turn that idea into posts using the same ChatGPT and be sharing every day on my LinkedIn. This is an example. Do you know, even though the tech company that is seeing your post have access to ChatGPT, they would not ordinarily want to go to ChatGPT and be saying, tell me how to manage my team. But what you have not done is what they could not do, you have gone to bring it to them in a simpler way. That same ChatGPT can give you that attention that you're looking for. So I tell people that other than just sit on your phone and consume the idea of everybody in the world, what idea can you sell? What can you do that people can also watch? What value can you bring that people can also see and say, I am learning a lot from this person? Make no mistake, I'm going to be as real as possible with you here. What it is that I'm teaching you today, I will not tell you that I did not use ChatGPT to put my thoughts together. I did. But are you gaining value? Yes. From that same place, I'm able to still deliver value. So don't guilt trip yourself if you feel you don't know how to put your thoughts together in your own words to sound original. You can use the AI tools that I feel we have been blessed with to amplify your voice and amplify your value. In many workplaces today, referrals matter. Referrals matter. And what will bring referral? People. It is people that will say, I know this person. I know this person. Do you know that people would not vouch for you for opportunities just because they know you? They must know you and associate that value with you to be able to say, this is the person I think you should bring. Some days ago, please confirm you can still hear me.
Yes, ma, we can hear you, but I don't know.
We
It's
can
kind of
hear you clearly,
giving
ma.
us some points
Yes, ma, we
about.
can hear you, ma.
David, you are saying
Yes, ma.
something. Okay.
No, I was saying it's kind of. I don't know if it's my network. It's kind of breaking at some point, but I can hear you, ma.
Okay. So I was saying that referrals matter. People will be the ones to vouch for you. People will be the ones to refer you for opportunities. And opportunities that you are referred for, they are almost always authentic. Like the example I gave to you that a friend reached out to me to refer someone for a role. If I have somebody to refer for that role, that's the person getting that job, that's the person getting that opportunity and that job automatically. So people must be able to refer you. If somebody is saying refer somebody, can I think and I will say, oh, I know one Aisha, I know one Rufai, I know one Ajibola. Let me refer the person. And don't forget, people don't refer you because they know you. They refer you because they know your value. They know the value that you can bring to that project or to that opportunity. Again, in many workplaces, visibility matters. Let me give you an example. Something happened while I was working with the company I told you about. Um, there was a time they wanted to do like a change of global value. They wanted to change the value of the company across all our um, branches all over the world. And our head office from Manchester reached out to all the maybe the heads of um each country to suggest, no, rather, I think the head of each continent to suggest a few people that would come together to discuss the new value before the company will roll it out as a global value for the organization. And I was shocked. I got an email selecting me to join the strategy team. The truth is, I was a junior staff when that selection was done. I had no business being there. I had absolutely no business being there. My boss, my line manager was not selected. His own line manager was not selected. How did they jump those two and came to me? Somebody gave my name. Somebody referred me by virtue of what the person had seen me do over the time. The person knew I had something to contribute to that strategy session. And that was how I found myself there. Until tomorrow, I would always be grateful for that opportunity. And I don't even know who the person that referred me is. But then again, we are back to this point. In many workplaces, visibility matters. Visibility matters. Whatever you are doing, whatever value you are adding to a company, let them see you. If, for instance, you have done a project and there is success in the project, there's nothing wrong in sending an email to your boss to say, oh, I have completed this project. These are the things that were achieved from the project. List it, say it. Let there be an email evidence. The day you are doing your appraiser, before the person will think and say you did not do well, and the person remembers all the email of evidences you have shared, they can't cut that away from you anymore. So please, visibility matters. Then perception matters. How do people perceive you? Do they perceive you as someone who is lazy? Do they perceive you as somebody who complains all the time? Do they perceive you as somebody um who is pessimistic? Or do they perceive you as somebody who is proactive, somebody who is energetic and not in the wrong way? Or sorry, do they perceive you as somebody who can bring value? Perception matters. These are the things that they are looking for in workplaces that will make them give you opportunities. Now, talking about moving from potential to opportunity, I want to share with you what I call the 4 bridges. The first bridge is self awareness. Self awareness is the first bridge. You need to first even understand that you have a potential that can be turned into an opportunity to start with. How much of you do you know? The second bridge is skills translation. The third bridge is visibility. I've been talking about this in different ways. I won't sleep so much on it when I get there. Then the last bridge is relationships. Now, let's touch on them. The first one, self awareness. Until you understand your value, you cannot communicate it. I can't come and tell you this is what I can do if I don't even understand what I can do in the first place. So, in moving from the place of potential to the place of opportunities, you must start from first understanding yourself, from first being aware of you. Now, the things that people consistently come to you for, they are a clue of what your natural strength is. They're a clue. So, in case you are wondering, how do I know what I can do? How do I understand myself? Watch out for what people are always coming to you for. Just watch out. For instance, when people are trying to get somebody to do something in my company, when I was still in the corporate space, when people are coming to me, when people want to do something and they can't approach the person to get it done, maybe because they think the person is too difficult, or they think the person is not friendly, or they think the person will not take them seriously, or they think the person will not answer them, guess who they come to? They will come to me to say, Magdalene, I know with you this thing will get done. Please help us see this through. Why? Because they see a strength in relationship management in me. They see that I can I can relate with any caliber of person, any caliber of person. That is a strength. So if I am going to communicate my strengths to an organization, for instance, I can tell them that I have the ability to I have the ability to manage any kind of person, bring their strengths together to give you value, to achieve your goal. That is the strength I can communicate. Now, what are people coming to you for? All the time. That they will come to you to say, oh, Rufai, can you help me with this? Rufai, the same thing. More than 2, 3 people are coming to you all the time for that same thing. Then you want to look inward and ask yourself, this particular thing, what is it about me that people are always coming to me for this thing? It's a strength I need to build. It's a value I need to communicate. And guess what? No value is indispensable. No value is too small. Like today, I'm a corporate event MC. And do you know how I came about it? I said to myself, what is that thing that I do easily, naturally, that I can turn into a money making skill? And I realized that I can talk. I can talk. And I also saw that a lot of people were in that same field of MC and people who grew up and people were calling them talkatives. But now you see that that same talkativeness is not what is bringing them money. So no skill is indispensable to be described as value. You just need to know how to refine it and harness it and be able to make a value out of it. Let's run very quickly. Now, I've talked about what people come to you for. So let me give you some examples just to also help you in case you're thinking, oh, what people come to me for. Here are some examples that you can think in direction with. For instance, people are always coming to you to explain concepts. Oh, can you explain this to me? I know you would always have an answer. Can you explain it to me? That is value. Somebody is coming to you to say, can you help us organize this program? You are very good at organizing. Can you help us organize this program? That is a value that you're probably overlooking. That is something. Somebody is coming to you to say, I don't know how to write it. Can you help me rewrite it? There's a way you can write something that I like. Or somebody is coming to say, I have a challenge. Can you help me solve this problem? Or, oh, my system is having issue. Can you help me? There is something. Then the one I gave example of managing people. Somebody is coming to you to say, oh, can you help me manage? These are potentials that you can turn into opportunities. Now, the next bridge is skill translation. Now that you know your skill, now that you know some things that you have as potentials, don't forget that we had also listed a few things that are potentials. We had listed your degrees, we had listed certificates, and a couple of other things. Now, how do I translate those potentials into skill? And I've given you some examples here. Many people know things, but only few people can apply them. For instance, you studied economics. If you want to communicate it as a skill, how do you do it? This is an example here. You can say, I analyze data, understand market trends, and I make recommendations. That's what an economist do. But how are you communicating that value as an economist? How are you communicating that value? Because in your CV, somebody would write, I'm an economist in so company. And then you come and you write, I analyze data, I understand market trends, and I make recommendations. If you are an employer, what will you go for? I need a response.
The second person.
The second person. At the end of the day, they're
Second
actually
person.
saying the same thing. Yeah, thank you for the response. They're actually saying the same thing, but they communicated it differently. So you must understand how you can translate your skills to be value for whoever is listening to you or for whoever is reading your CV. And please don't translate skills that you cannot do. I don't believe in Bobo. Say what you can do, but know how to communicate what exactly you can do. So, for instance, you're coming to say, I analyze data, I understand market trends, I made a recommendation, and then they bring it to the company and they say, hey, Lambaja, come and translate, come and help us understand this market trend. We're looking to invest as a company. What do you think about this market trend? And you're like, Oga, I'm not very good when it comes to reading markets. All these lines I used to see, I don't understand what all these lines mean. What does that mean? You have lied. You have lied. So if they even rated you before, you have dropped that rating. But let me give you an example of a statement someone made. I went for a mentoring session over the weekend, last weekend, and one of the speakers was talking about how he never says no to opportunity. I'm going to share it with you because it is very profound and it has stuck with me. Now, he said he doesn't say no to opportunities, but this is what he does. When he says, oh, yes, I can do it, he goes back and reads up like a crazy person. He goes back and learn and learn and learn and learn that thing. That by the time he comes back, you would never believe that he actually never knew about it before he answered you. So yes, even if you put this in your CV and you say, I analyze data, I understand market trends, and I make recommendations, It's okay. But go back and learn it. Go back and understand data. Go back and learn data analytics. Go back and understand how the market works. Read and understand the market trend. Go back to see on your own. Give yourself assignments. In this trend that I'm seeing, if I am to make recommendations, how do I make this recommendation? So that is you translating skill to value. That is what employers are looking for, not just CV. If your CV opens the door, it is your skill, it is your value that will keep you in that room. So it's very important you build it. For instance, again, if you served in an admin office, let's say during your NYC days, because sometimes we undermine our NYC year when we are putting our CVs together. We don't communicate what we did well enough in our NYC. So you think that 1 year is a waste. It is actually not a waste. So for instance, you did admin when you were in NYC. Instead of coming to say, I served in NYC admin office, why not say, I handled documentation, coordinated people, and supported operations? It's actually the same thing. It is probably what you had done in the admin office, but you communicated it different and you communicated it better. So skills translation is the second bridge to turning your potential into opportunities. Now, what is the value formula? What I describe as the value formula is action plus skill. Action plus skill. That is what gives you results. So I don't want us to go. I'm going to start rushing now because of time. We're running against time. Now, the third bridge is visibility. Like I said, I've been talking a lot about visibility, so I'm not going to dwell so much here. But I'm just going to say, hard work alone never guarantees opportunity. That you are hardworking, that you are doing what you are doing, but nobody is seeing what you are doing, does not guarantee opportunity. And that is the reason why one person can be on a project doing so much on that project, but nobody is seeing what that person is doing because the person is not even communicating what he or she is doing. But another person is doing that same thing the first person is doing, but every step of the way, the person is communicating the progress, communicating the results. If opportunity comes, it will go to the second person. Why? Because there's some sort of visibility to the person's hard work. So hard work alone never brings opportunity. Visibility is what translates that hard work into opportunities for you. I have said it that referrals matters, network matters. The people you know, the people you have around you matters. Someone you know cannot refer you. Someone you don't know cannot refer you. And I said also that perception matters. Now, what are the three ways you can stay visible? I've highlighted a few things very quickly. One way you can stay visible is speaking about what you are learning, speaking about what you are doing. You can use your various platforms. You can use LinkedIn, you can use WhatsApp, you can use conversations. Keep speaking about it. And it's a matter of time, people will know it. And then show your work. You can volunteer, show your work. Let people see what you are doing. People will know that you can deliver this value because they have seen you do it. Let me give you an example. Last year I was in a committee for a major event in my church. And I was putting in my work. I was putting in the work like you would think they were paying me millions to do that project. Sometimes, see, I was heavily pregnant. Yet sometimes 11 p.m., 12 a.m. I am working on documents for that project. And by the time we finished the event and we're having our first meeting together, the chairman of the committee said something. He said, I want everybody, after he finished thanking everybody, he then said, I want everybody to stand up. Please stand up and help me to clap for this woman. Help me to clap for Magdalene for the level of work she put in. Do you know what that meant? That meant visibility. I did the work to the point where nobody could deny that I put in that work. That is how opportunities come for you. And the chairman kept saying something. He said, if I ever get the opportunity today to become a government official that is going to Abuja, I must carry you along. As as trivial as we think it sounds, it's a powerful recommendation. It says that it says for me that my hard work did not go unnoticed. And do you know that even if such a person never goes to Abuja tomorrow, if an opportunity comes, do you think he will recommend